Good morning, Breen School families. It's Miss Hager here again. This week I get to teach you about some important new math objectives. It's one of my favorite things to teach. This week in math, both through this lesson and through the small group lessons you'll do with your teachers in class on Zoom, we're going to learn how to point to objects and count them while touching each of the objects one at a time. We're going to learn how to answer the question, how many? A very important question that we want to know how to answer when we count objects. We're also going to name numerals 0, 1, 2, 3, 4, and 5. And we're going to match numeral cards. That's these cards right here. Cards with numbers written on them to the number of objects that we just counted. Are you ready to learn? I know I am. All right, my friends. At home, you have your plastic bag full of square counting tiles. You're going to need those this week to practice counting in small group and to do an activity later today that you'll post on Dojo. Right now, look at my board. My board has an important question on it. That's why I see a question mark. The question says, how many? That's a very important math question. If you want to know how many apples you need to buy for your family, maybe you want to know how many cookies you get to eat for a snack. Maybe you want to know how many toys you're going to get to buy when Christmas comes. How many? That's my question. Well, when I look at my board right now, I don't see any color tiles. There are 0 color tiles on my board. This is the number 0. It looks like an oval. You may have talked about this number 0 that looks like an oval already with your teachers. If I look at my board, do I see any green color tiles on my board? No. How many do I see? I see 0. Now I'm going to add color tiles to my board. I'm going to go back and read my important question. How many? How many color tiles do you see? If you said 1, you are correct. 1. I have 1 color tile. Boys and girls, what I just did was I used a very important finger on your hand. It's this finger right here. When your fist is closed, it's the finger that comes after your thumb. Here is your thumb. The next finger is called your pointer finger. Can you stick your pointer finger up in the air like mine? You can point up, you can point sideways, and you can point down. When we're doing math lessons, it's very important to use this important pointer finger to touch the objects you are counting. Watch me. 1. So I touch the object and I say the first number. The first number is 1. 1. I use my pointer finger and touch the object and say that first number, 1. Then I remember that number in my brain, 1. And if someone asks me the question, how many color tiles do you see? I know I counted 1. If I was going to match a numeral to my 1 color tile, this is what it would be. 1. That is the number 1, boys and girls. You'll practice writing that number and making that number in small groups today with your teachers. 1. Now I'm going to add another color tile to my board. Once I add more objects to my group, just like I added another color tile to the one I already had, I need to remember, get my pointer finger ready to count so I can answer the question, how many? Ready? Will you help me? 1, 2. I touched the first object and said 1. Then I move my finger to the next object and say 2. 1, 2. Help me, boys and girls. 1, 2. Now I need to answer my very important question. How many? Let me check. 1, 2. 2. Keep that number in my brain. How many? There's 2. 1, 2. That's how many. And if I was going to match a numeral card to how many objects are on my board, I would find the number 2. This is the number 2, boys and girls. It goes up over the mountain, slides down and back again. That's a number that you'll practice either today or on Thursday with your classroom teachers. 2. How many color tiles do I see? 1, 2. I see 2. Now let's add another color tile to our board. I added another color tile, so I need to get my pointer finger, which can also be called your index finger, ready to point and count. Remember, you touch one object, say a number name, touch the next object, say a number name, and touch the next object and say a number name. And remember that last number so you can answer the question, how many? Let's do it. 1, 2, 3. I touched the first object and said 1. I touched the next object and said 2, the next number when I count. I touched the last object and said 3. How many objects do I see? I see 3. 1, 2, 3. I just went back and checked. If I was going to use a numeral card to show how many objects I have, I would find the numeral card with number 3. There's that number 3. That's how many objects I have. 1, 2, 3. Number 3 has a very fun poem. It looks like you're in a car and you're going to go driving around a tree and then around a tree again. That's number 3. You'll learn more about number 3 in small groups with your teachers on Thursday and Friday. Now I want to add another color tile to my board. I'm using more and more color tiles every time I add one. Here's another green color tile to my board. Sorry about that. The board got wiggly. I want to find out how many color tiles I have now. I get my pointer or index finger ready to touch each object. Every time I touch an object, I say that number. Ready? Let's do it together. 1, 2, 3, 4. How many? The last number I said was 4. I think there's 4 color tiles on my board, but I want to check to make sure. I'm going to go back and count them again, using my pointer finger and saying a number every time I touch a tile. 1, 2, 3, 4. How many color tiles do I see? I see 4. Here is the numeral that matches how many color tiles I see. There's the number 4. Down, around the corner, shut the door. That's how I write a number 4. The number on my number card matches how many color tiles I see. And I was able to answer that very important kindergarten question, how many? Now, I'm going to add one more color tile to our group of color tiles. I'm going to add it at the end. Boys and girls, can you see how I lined up my color tiles? I put each color tile next to each other. And when I count across from left to right, starting at the first color tile and going to the last color tile on my board. Let's get our pointer fingers ready to count together again so we can answer the question, how many? Ready? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. The last number I said was 5. And I think that there are 5 color tiles up there. But I can always count again to double check. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. There are 5 color tiles. How many color tiles? 5. I'm going to find my numeral that matches. My numeral that matches is numeral number 5, or number 5. Number 5 is a fun number to write. Wait till you learn how next week. You make a line down and then a big curve and put on a top. That's number 5. I have 5 green color tiles. That's how many. Now, boys and girls, what's really fun about counting objects is sometimes they're in a line, or you can put them in a line. Other times, you might see them a different way. I'm going to move my 5 color tiles. I'm even going to put this one right up top, on top of my question, how many? Now, boys and girls, my color tiles aren't going across horizontally from left to right. They're going down vertically from the top to the bottom. Do you think there are more color tiles, less color tiles, or the same number of color tiles? I think there's the same number, but I'm going to use my pointer finger to check. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. There were still 5 color tiles. Even though I moved them in a different order, there were still 5. Let's see if I still have 5 if I move them another way. Put that one in the middle and these this way. I didn't take any away. I didn't add any on. I think there might still be 5. Will you count with me to check? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. There are still 5. There are 5 color tiles on my board. That's how many. Now, boys and girls, I have an important homework assignment to go with this activity today. Your job at your house is to get out your bag of color tiles, and you want to practice lining them up, going across, just like we did at the beginning of this video. You want to count out 5. How many do we need, friends? We need 5. You're going to practice counting out 5. So you'll line up your color tiles and then you'll count them. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. 5 color tiles on your table or your board. If you can't find your color tiles or your family wasn't able to come to school to get them, you can count other objects. I like to count my markers. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. I have 5 colorful markers. Or I can count spoons. Ask your mom and dad first if it's okay to look in your silverware drawer and find 5 spoons. Ready? Help me count them. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. I have 5 spoons that I use to eat ice cream or soup. 5. Maybe you want to find a snack and count out 5 pieces, like finding some goldfish crackers or cookies and counting out 5 of them for your snack. 5 goldfish or 5 cookies. You can lie them out on your table or on a plate and count them out till you find 5. Or maybe you have a yummy fruit at home, like apples, bananas, or grapes, and you can count out 5. 1, 2, 3, I'm running out of room, 4, 5. I have 5 delicious apples to eat for a snack. I have 5. So you're going to go get your color tiles or another object like markers, spoons, snacks, or fruit. Lie them out on your table until you have 5. Then you're going to show me how you use your index finger to touch each one and count. Watch me one more time. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. And when you do that, I want your family, a grown-up in your family, to video you so I can see and your teachers can see how you're able to touch each object while you count. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. And how you're able to answer the question, how many? How many color tiles do I have? I have 5. Great job, boys and girls. Remember, ask your family if you can use your color tiles or another object like markers, spoons, fruit like apples, or a snack like goldfish crackers to count out 5 of them and then point to those 5 objects, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and have your family film you on video with their phones or iPad and then download it to Dojo so your teachers and I can see what a great job you're doing learning how to count objects.